Hey everybody, today I'm here talking about how to heal your inner child. And this is such an important subject to talk about because I feel in order for us to gain confidence and move forward in life and be happy and find like our best self, we have to deal with things in the past that sometimes we don't want to think about, or sometimes, and if you're currently going through this, then it's important for us to talk about it even better. But if you're an adult and you're dealing with emotions that have been suppressed over the years, it's a good time to talk about it. And the best way to deal with something is acknowledging it, that it happened and it's real. So I wanted to talk about this because it took me a while for me to get to this place that I am now, where I consider myself that I am fully okay with life. I am happy where I am finally at peace with the past, and I am no longer dealing with issues of the past. I am in a better place where I am focusing on my future, on motivating other people, on helping others. And in order for me to get to this place where I'm at now, I had to look within and deal with all the past emotions in order for me to fully be able to give myself like the best of myself to others, and for me to be able to let myself be loved by others and be a good friend, be a good person, live my best life. I had to face the past and those issues. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was, what is the inner child? And the inner child is that person that you were as a child. Um, all of us grow up in homes that we really don't get to pick who our parents are, or we feel like most of us are just thrown into like a home. And I'm not talking about like now future experiences, but like in the past, a lot of parents were being, they were taking all of the teachings that they learned by their parents, and just educating us with those educations or with those types of methods. And sometimes they weren't like the best methods. I came from like a family that was very like very high strung, very strict, and it wasn't like the best. We had to, the children weren't able to talk back to the adults, that we weren't able to express our emotions, we weren't able to comment in older people's situations, and you basically didn't have a voice because you were a child, you were not an adult. And until you actually went through some things, then you were able to speak your mind and basically defend yourself. And I yeah, and so I know that a lot of people are going through that or went through that growing up. It was just really hard for children to have a voice, and I feel like it's important for us to change that because um, I think everybody's important, and I feel like everybody's, even if you're little or if you're big, or you are able to make a difference, and your thoughts are important and you matter. And I want you to know that everything that you feel and everything that you think, it's important and it matters, and you shouldn't be silenced, and you should speak your mind, and you should treat other people like they treat you, and it's perfectly fine. And all the bad situations, they always end. They don't last like that forever. And the awesome thing of growing up is that when you do grow up, then you get to create the awesome life that you always wanted. And this is where life gets exciting, because you no longer have to live and keep on doing those generational traumas to other people. Like, you get to stop things and change, and the way that your parents like did things, you don't have to do those things anymore. Like, you could change things around. Like, you could be a better parent, you could be a better person, you could stop all of those genetic factors that were like, that everybody assumed were okay back in the past. You could stop all of that and change. And every single day we get an opportunity to change where we live, who we are, what friends we surround ourselves with, what our thoughts are, who we choose as our partners. Like, we are able to make the choices and decisions every day, and we are not those children that weren't able to make those choices, didn't have a voice. Like, now we have a voice and we could do a lot of things with it. We could speak up for others, we could teach others, we could give advice, we could check on others. Like, we could do a lot of things. So let's get to the first part. So first of all, I wanted you to know that it is not your fault that other people are in a bad mood. So basically, when you were growing up or when you were a child and your parents were always in a bad mood and they would get there from work, I mean, there could be a lot of factors that came with that. So maybe parents are in a bad mood because they had a long day at work. It was maybe a very stressful environment. Maybe because of COVID nowadays, a lot of people are going through job loss. So maybe they're frustrated because a lot of people are like not getting enough money as before, or maybe they're stressed out because they're dealing with traffic, or they're dealing with the situation, or maybe they just had a bad day, or maybe they're not feeling their best. And I just want you to know that it is not your fault that they are not in a good mood. You did nothing to make them feel that way. It's not your fault. So that is super important. The second point I want to talk about is you are worth everything. You're worth everything good in this life, and you are. Everything good that would happen to you, you deserve it. Everybody deserves to come to this world and live their best life. It's just a choice. We are all given one life, and I say this all the time to my friends and everything, and it's like, you get to choose what you want to do with your life. Even if you grew up without parents, even if you grew up by yourself, even if you grew up in a bad neighborhood, it just all of envisioning your dreams or envisioning what your life is going to be like, and working really, really hard. It's not super easy. It's a lot of sacrifice, it's a lot of sleepless nights, it's a lot of not having time to be in a relationship, not having time to deal with your friends, or not having time to spend money, or like go out to eat and things like that. It's just sacrifice. But nothing comes easy in this life. But if you really want to be something big and you have like this dream that is so important, then you work really hard. And if you need help, you could ask for help. And if you need motivation or resources or something, there's so many free resources now too, in order for you to get free education. Like, at school there's FAMSA, and there's Pell Grants, and there's so many like things that you could get for free going to college, in order for you to go to school to become whatever it is in your mind that you want to do. That shouldn't be a factor for you not to achieve your dreams. It's just choosing what you want to do with your life. So all of those blessings that you get in your life, you could get them, but you just got to figure out, what do you want to do? Once you figure out what do you want to do with your life and what are your dreams, there are so many resources out there that are for free for low income people, and even people that have money, to make those dreams happen. So whatever, there is no such thing as not achieving all of those blessings. There is no such thing. I have had so many careers in my life, and it's like I keep waking up and dreaming new dreams and changing my mind of what I want to do. And it's like, I am like those kind of people that just want to do like 1,000 things in one lifetime, and I wish my life was longer, but it's okay. Like, I could do it, you could do it. If you need my help, if you need resources for me to help you get there, I will like put everything I could, all of my knowledge and everything that I can in my power to make it happen. Um, with effort and that dream of wanting to do things, you can achieve anything. And don't let a parent tell you that you are not worthy of blessings, that you are not worthy of achieving your dreams, that you cannot get out of poverty and be somebody important, and that what you're dreaming about is never gonna happen. Like that is like an inner thing that they're dealing with it, and that is not your fault. You know, you could make all of these things happen. And sometimes when people are very negative like that, you just have to let it go in through one ear and out the other, and just focus. Like, make a picture in your mind every night of where you see yourself in the future. Make a board, a vision board of things that you want, and make yourself a list of how you're going to get there. You know that you have to finish high school, you have to get good grades, um, you have to find, like, start doing research. How much money do you get paid for that career? Where you should start volunteering. And if you're going to high school now, if you're going to middle school, start volunteering on the locations of those places you want to work for, so they could start seeing that you're serious about this, and you start getting a feel for it of what you want to do in life. Don't let other people deter your dreams, and don't let them tell you that it's not going to happen. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you are determined to do this, there are many, many ways of getting it done. And then it's okay to feel your feelings. So it's okay to feel sad, happy, frustrated, excited. Um, all of the feelings that you felt as a child, it was okay. Like, I know a lot of times parents are quick to tell you, oh my god, stop crying, or oh my god, like, stop being so excited, be quiet, just give me a minute, you know. Um, or if you're really, really sad and you feel like crying, like, they tell you to repress those feelings, and it's like, you don't have any reason to cry, you have this and this and that, you're blessed. And it's like, whatever you're feeling when you're a child, or whatever you're feeling even as an adult, like, it's okay to have feelings. Like, it's okay to feel like certain feelings. Like, it's okay to express your feelings. That's what I'm trying to say. Especially when you're a child, like, everything's so new in life, and you are learning these experiences, and it's okay. Like, you are not taking anything for granted. So you go to a toy store and you find something that you like, and you're gonna get excited. Or you're gonna go to Disneyland or the fair, and you wake up excited, you know. And it's okay to feel happy. It's okay to feel like super content and overjoyed, and you want to like jump up and down and scream. Like, those things are well, like, it's fine. And sometimes when you don't pass the test, and when you feel like very frustrated because you studied a night, it's okay to feel frustrated, but just know that, you know, you're frustrated and you didn't pass that test, or you didn't do good in that class, but tomorrow you'll get another chance to do it again. And you're going to be able to go back and study and do well in it, and you'll be okay. Like, everything's going to be fine. Like, I know you're frustrated now that things didn't happen the way that you wanted them to happen, but things get better. And that goes for everything in life. Like, even if you didn't get something that you wanted, like a job, or you didn't get the person that you wanted to go out on a date, or, you know, there's reasons for everything. So never feel like frustrated, never feel so angry that it kind of blocks everything else in your mind, and it just turns into anger. Try to breathe through it, and try to like remember and focus, and yes, acknowledge the feeling that you're frustrated, that you're upset. But don't let it get to you to a point where you're not thinking clearly. Just remember that even if you're frustrated, eventually you'll get another chance to try again. And you keep on trying, and you try and you try until you achieve it. Like, you know, whatever you set your mind to, you will achieve, and everything takes practice. And if you want to play the guitar, like me, for instance, if I want to learn how to play the guitar, I might not be able to be really good at it at first, but I'll keep practicing and practicing until I am better. If I really want to work at a job, I'll keep applying and applying until I get that. And, you know, sometimes in your path of finding something that you are very stubborn to getting, you realize that maybe you didn't really even wanted that in the first place, or maybe there's something better out there. So, we are allowed to change, and our thoughts will change eventually. So don't get too frustrated to make it feel like it's the end of the world, because it's not. There's so many, as long as we're alive, we're able to try again the next day. And then also be careful when you get upset and angry, because sometimes when we're very, very angry, we tend to say things that we will regret. We're in that moment, and you might feel like you can't control your emotions, and you might say something that you will regret. So just be really careful. If you're feeling really, really angry and upset, just try to take a deep breath. And if you need to cry, like when I get upset, I cry. I don't know why, but instead of just like screaming or yelling, I just like shut down and I cry. And you know some people hit a wall. Like, don't do that. Don't damage like property, don't damage your body or face. um Try to go listen to some music. When I was growing up, I was always like so frustrated, had a lot of like teenage anger issues or whatever, and I would go and like listen to Slipknot nonstop for like hours. And I would put on my earphones and just listen to Slipknot. And it was like all this pent up aggression that I felt. And it just kind of healed me. It made me feel better. It made me feel like there was other people that were going through what I was going through, that they were like upset as well. And it just made me feel like people already knew, like, if I had my earphones on, like, leave me alone, just let me deal with whatever I was going through and come back later. As I grew up older, my music changed. The Deftones, White Pony really made me feel better. As I got older, um, A Perfect Circle was one of my go-to CDs to make me feel better. And now I listen to music just to feel better, no longer just to deal with that anger or those repressed feelings of like anger or issues or hate. Or now it's more like when music makes me feel better. If I'm going through a breakup, I will listen to The Weeknd. If I'm very like, or Post Malone. If I'm going through, I don't know, like if I'm in love or something like that, I will listen to, I don't know, Journey or Selena Gomez or whatever. So it just depends on what I'm going through, but just know that validating your feelings is important, and all of these feelings are important. Like, don't let others tell you, like, don't feel like this, you're not supposed to feel like that, it's not okay to express yourself. I am very open. I'm such an open person that if I love somebody, I will say it. If I am angry with somebody, I would just say it. If I'm frustrated, I would say it. If I'm sad, you could tell in my face. Have this phase that you could tell like all of my expressions, because I used to teach American Sign Language. And for sign language, you use a lot of facial expressions to express yourself. So it's like happy, you have to look happy. And then I'm sorry, and it's like frustration, or like frustrated, or sad, So it's like I do a lot of that, but just remember that your feelings are important, and you're supposed to feel like that. And something I always tell my daughter, and something that I always tell everybody that I meet that are my close friends. I mean, building your confidence is not easy. It's really, really hard to find yourself, like find your true self and be okay with who you are. But just remember that you are beautiful in your own special way. You're a beautiful person, and that you're loved. I tell my daughter all the time, like, I love you and you're so beautiful. And it's like, even though like she thinks it's annoying, or even though she'll like ignore me or whatever, or she gets tired of hearing it every day, like eventually one day she'll be like, okay, my mom was right, like I am beautiful, or she does love me. And a lot of parents don't say that to their kids. A lot of parents don't take the time to be like, oh, you're so smart, I love you, or good job. Just know that I love you, and I think it's important for us as parents to make sure that our kids know that, because sometimes life is so busy and we're constantly running and running and like focused on like, bills and this and that we forget to look at our kids and take a minute and just tell them like, hey, give them a quick hug, give them a quick kiss, just even if they're teenagers, doesn't matter. Just be like, hey, guess what? I love you. You're beautiful. You're so smart. How do you come up with these things? You're so smart. You're so beautiful. And I always say this to people, like, we are all beautiful within. Like, there's so many people in the world, and we're all individuals, and we are all born with our different traits and with something to offer to this world. And it's not like the outer beauty, it's the inner beauty, like our heart. Like, what does your heart do? Like, what do you want to do for humanity? Who are you as a person? What makes you feel good? If you do good onto others, then good things come to you. If you put out good things to the world, and good things will come to you. But it's not even about receiving things, it's about just being a good person. And no matter what I've gone through in life, I've always been this humble person that, I've had like this need of just being there for people, giving out to people, and then also knowing my limits. It's always very important to be able to give and give, but also know when you have to stop, because people would just keep on taking until there's nothing left. And sometimes you gotta be like, okay, I'm giving you the resources for you to better yourself, for you to like love yourself, for you to build that confidence, but you're gonna take it from here and you're gonna do the rest of the job. I'm just starting you up, and also making people as independent as possible, because you don't want to be one of those people that are making a person so dependent upon that love and that acceptance, that they feel like they need to be validated by others to be beautiful, to be loved. And we're all individual people that come here to do what we're supposed to do, our mission in life, our purpose in life. And we are going to love people unconditionally for who they are, which is what I do. I see people for who they are, and I love them for who they are. And I always encourage everybody that I surround myself with. I'm like, you could do anything you put your mind to. You could go to school, you could achieve your dreams. If you're sad, let me make you happy. Let's fix this. What do you want to do in with your life? Like, what are you going through? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Let's make it happen. Let's make a plan. You're unhappy. Let's make you happy. Like, you're frustrated. Let's change that. I am a very strong person that is able to change everything that I dislike in my life, and I want to teach everybody else that you are able to do that. And sometimes when you're going through things, it's really easy for you can't heal others unless you heal yourself. You can't be there for a friend if you're not okay. And this is why this video is so important, because you first have to fix those things that are bothering you inside, that have come from when you were a child, in order for you to be your best self. So you could be confident, you could be a great boyfriend, mother, spouse, friend for other people, but first you have to deal with those feelings that a lot of us have tried to suppress, and a lot of people don't like to talk about or deal with, and we try to like ignore them. But ignoring them just will bring them up back in the surface eventually. So it's like one of those things that you got to deal with. You got to fix it. You got to acknowledge that it's there, that it happened. It wasn't your fault, whatever happened when you were a child. Just know that you have to be able to forgive your parents, and you have to be able to forgive whoever was taking care of you when you were a child, because as I've learned as a person, as a parent, like, I have acknowledged that we are not perfect. We are not perfect people. We, grow up and we fall in love, right? And then we get into these relationships and we feel like we're in love, and it feels so awesome, and we're like, nothing's gonna deter us, it's me and you against the world. And you're like 17 or 18, and then you're like, you know, you have a baby and you're like, this is so cool, like we're gonna build this family together, we're gonna take care of this baby, we're gonna teach it all, you know, that we know. I was so excited when I was like pregnant because I was like, I'm gonna make this baby listen to Led Zeppelin and she's gonna be like the best, you know, like music baby ever, because music is so important to me. So, and but I was a child, you know, I was a child too, and I was going through a lot of like anger issues still, like trying to find myself, and it took me years to find my purpose in life. So, you know, a lot of parents are there too, like not, you know, just remember that nobody's perfect and everybody's going through their own steps in life of discovery, or they're going through finding out who they are and finding out what works best. And maybe some people find their soulmates, some people find like their true love, some people don't. Some people get into a relationship and then they realize that they're very different, you know. um, and they want to be there for the child because they both love, you know, they might both love you, but it's so hard to deal with your personality sometimes, um, with our own personalities, that it's even harder to deal with other people's personalities and ourselves. And it's like, that's when decisions have to be made of whether somebody stays in a relationship for the child, which I don't recommend. um, there are great ways of co-parenting, and you know, the love for the child is never going to end, it's never going to change. Both parents are going to put in enough effort to make sure that the child is okay, but you shouldn't stay in a relationship where you're not happy. The ultimate success in life is to be happy within yourself, and your children will see that. So if you saw that your parents were unhappy growing up, and maybe they were trying to make it work for you and your siblings, and it's like, growing up I always wanted my parents to be happy whether they were together or apart. So I knew happiness is very important, because if you're happy then you make everybody around you happy, right? And if you're unhappy then you kind of just take it with you. It's like all about negative energy. I mean, it's all about energy. So if you're having a bad day and you surround yourself with like negative people, then you're gonna have a bad day. If you're want to have a good life, then you surround yourself with people that are positive, that are gonna go where you're going, that are gonna motivate you, that are gonna be like, hey, you have dreams, let me help you. Hey, you like to work hard, let me work hard with you, you know, like, hey, you know, you want to go hiking, let's go hiking. You want to work on losing weight, let's go lose weight, you know. So it's like, just acknowledge that, you know, nobody's perfect, you know. And then another thing I wanted to talk about was about protection. So growing up, when you're little, and this is something that a lot of people have dealt with, parents were constantly working when you're little, working multiple jobs, and you know, they're unable to take care of you, because sometimes when you're working, it's all about making sacrifices, like not being able to be there to watch TV with you, take you to school, or the parents have to pick like which parent's gonna go, which one's gonna stay home. So it's not like, it's hard to protect a child, you know, and know who to trust when you're growing up. And you know, some kids go through some situations that are really, really hard to deal with. Like, it could be like an uncle or an aunt or a babysitter or a parent or something where they're sexually assaulted, or, you know, there was like some type of physical violence or verbal abuse, and the parents are unaware. And I'm sorry that you were not protected, you know, and I'm sorry that that happened to you, but just know that it was not okay, and it is not your fault, you know. Nothing that you would have done different, you know, would have changed it, and nothing that the reason why the people that do that to others, it's their own issues that they have, their own unresolved issues. It's very wrong. um, it destroys the life. I understand that. And don't let them make you believe that they will hurt your family by saying something. Don't make them believe that you are less special than you are because of it. It wasn't your fault. And tell your parents. Tell them, even if they don't believe you, tell a relative, tell the police, tell somebody, but tell somebody. Don't keep it to yourself. And tell a neighbor, tell school, tell somebody. And now there's so many resources. Just call 911, report it. Like, nothing's gonna happen to you. But if you don't say anything, things will continue to happen, because those people that do that, they need like psychological help. They have inner wounds that are not healed, and they don't see that what they're doing is wrong. And sometimes they need like somebody to come and tell them like, hey, what you're doing is not okay. It is not okay to do this to a child. It is not okay to be like this. And it is not your fault. Nothing that you did. And we need to be able to forgive them, and forgive, even though it's so hard to do, and forgive your parents for not being able to be there to protect you. But this is something that we got to close a chapter to in order for you to move forward. You're not you gotta forgive yourself, because it's not your fault, and nothing that you did brought it upon you for you to go through that. It wasn't because of the way you dressed. It wasn't because you were friendly. It wasn't because you were nice. It wasn't because of anything. Like, we are able to be who we are. We're supposed to be who we are at all times. Whether people treat us a certain way, that's not our fault. That's their fault. Just like if you go to school and somebody doesn't like you and they're jealous of you and they make up rumors, that's not your problem. That's not your fault. Like, you are who you are. Your personality is what makes you great. Like, who you are is what makes you special in this world, and you shouldn't change that for anybody. And if people can't deal with it, and if people have their own ideas or beliefs upon it, that's on them. It has nothing to do with you. And don't let it like dull your shine. Don't let it take away from your life of greatness that you're going to deal with in the future. But make sure that you speak about it. Make sure you tell somebody. It's very common, and it happens to a lot of people. And please, like, get help. Please talk to somebody about it, even if you're an adult now. Go see a therapist. Write it down in a journal. Just let it out, and close that chapter, so you could be happy, so you could heal from it. It's so important to heal from all these issues in life, because you will waste so many years trying to deal with all of these emotions. And it's like, when do you start being happy? If this happens to you when you're a child, but then you go into your adolescence, your teenage years, and you deal with all of this pain and all this hurt, and it's like, you deal with all of that anger and all of those repressed feelings of sadness, and it's like, you go into adulthood to then, and then you're still going through that. And it's like, by the time that you finally start living your best life, by the time that you finally love yourself enough and be confident enough to accept your life, you already wasted most of your life feeling those feelings, or being like super depressed, or being like going through those emotions and trying to figure out why that happened to you, or why you're going through these things. And it's like, most of the time you will discover that all of these things happen when you were a child, and most of the parents are not perfect. We're all trying to be our best, and we love you, and having kids is a blessing, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Having my daughter was like the blessing. She taught me so many things. I worked harder, even more than I already do for her, and now I am becoming like more of a strong person than I've ever been, just for her, just to teach her that there's nothing that you can do in this world. Women empowerment is so great. Your voice is like, anything that you put your mind to, you could achieve, and you shouldn't be with anybody and devalue who you are in order for them to love you. It all starts here. So you first love yourself, and everything else will love you. And if they don't love you, then too bad, too sad. Like, there'll be somebody out there that will love you for who you are. You know, just don't feel like you're stuck. You know, don't feel like you're not worthy, because you are. And you're so special and so beautiful in your own way. And you have so much to give to this world if you really think about it. Every little effort that you do in this world will make a difference. You just gotta want it enough. Think of what you want and work really hard towards it, and it might change somebody's life. It might help somebody. So it's like, figure it out, but don't hold back that sparkle. Don't hold back your dreams. Don't hold back your purpose in life. Um, Try to heal yourself. The faster, the better, so you don't waste your life trying to find, yourself, trying to find that happiness, so you could be your best self, and then you could share your best self with others. Everybody needs to see that awesomeness, and it should be shared with others. And it's like, first you have to accept yourself here. First you have to deal with those issues and close that chapter and move forward. And then you could be like your best self. Don't ignore them and don't acknowledge them, because you will never be able to heal from those negative thoughts and emotions, and you will never be able to be a good parent or be a good spouse or be a good boyfriend or girlfriend or lover if you're constantly stuck in your head, if you can't express love towards others, if you can't trust other people, if you can be yourself. Like, be yourself. Be who you are. You're not for everybody. Not everybody's gonna like you, but that's okay. Like, there's a person for everybody, and don't be ashamed of who you are. Don't believe all of these people that tell you that you're not gonna be anybody, that you can make a difference, because you can. And you will. But we gotta close this chapter of the past, and you gotta deal with that inner child, and you gotta forgive people, and you gotta forgive your parents, and you gotta forgive yourself, because nothing that you did made you deserve whatever you went through. And yeah, thank you for having this afternoon with me and letting me talk to you about this. And remember that you're loved, and I'm here for you. And anything that you're going through, you could talk to me about. And there's a lot of people going through what you're going through, and it's okay. It's perfectly okay to go through those feelings. And remember that in order for us to move forward in life, we need to heal. And in order for us to heal, we have to deal with the past. And sometimes dealing with the past is not the best thing to do, but it has to be done in order for us to be better. And just know that we are all going through it. And the faster you deal with it, the faster that you'll be able to be happy. And why waste your life not being happy when life is so awesome and so precious, and there's so much to do out there? So many free things that are out there that you are meant to discover, so many lives to change, so many people that you're going to meet. Why waste your life not loving yourself, not taking care of yourself, not going towards your dreams, not being happy, making other people happy? Like, don't waste your life. Heal so you could be happy, heal so you could be confident, heal so you could be your best self. And if you need help healing, I could give you some ideas on how to do that, but there's help out there, and there's a lot of people going through that. So just remember that you are loved, that we need to forgive others in order for us to move forward, and you are beautiful, special, magnificent, intelligent, unique. There's no other person in this world that is created like you. You are so unique and special and perfect in your own way, and you could do anything you put your mind to. And you have so much to give to this world. And maybe you'll be the next Manny Koshman, maybe you'll be the next Kobe Bryant, but you have to first acknowledge those feelings, and then we could start working towards your confidence and how to go forward from there. And all of that magic and all of that awesomeness is hidden inside, but it needs to come out. So we want some of that. So please heal so we could go forward. Okay, bye.